Jeffco Public Libraries has a ton of databases, which is probably a great place to start to find examples of contemporary essays. So these are people who've been hired to write something. There's just, the list goes on and on. So to try and narrow it down, I have linked a couple to the library webpage. So if you get to rvmustangs.org and then click on library, class links, and essay patterns, you'll see the two that I would recommend starting with. Both will require a Jefferson County Public Library card number. If you don't have a card, or you don't know your number, you'll need to send someone up to the library to get the current temporary login I have that I can share with everyone. I just can't post it in this video. So I'm going to go into Master File Premier first. Again, if I hadn't already logged in, it would be asking for my library card. This is a database of contemporary magazine articles. So you can type in anything you want to and click search, and it will provide the magazines back that relate. What you want to look for is something that has full text. So Google versus Facebook here, if I click on this, I'll get an abstract which summarizes it. A lot of times I'll just go straight to the full text and see what it is about. So this is kind of a compare-contrast essay. It talks about Google's Plus versus Facebook and talks about some of the problems in Facebook and how Google's attempting to remedy that. So here's a sample. You can go back to your search results though, and you can see there's pages and pages and pages of these. So there's the impact of Facebook on our students. Here's a persuasive essay. Again, if I click on HTML full text, it will take me right to this article from the magazine. If you see a contents that's formatted funny like this, just continue scrolling down and then you'll see here the actual article. So there's kind of your first choice. Your second option that's going to definitely read a lot like similar to traditional essays that you might think of as this opposing viewpoints database. This one's a little bit harder to navigate, so I saved it for second. This is designed to be a one-stop shop for anyone doing a research report on any of these topics. So when you come in here, it's going to have so much information. If you're just browsing, I recommend first going into this Issues tab. What this will do is take you to the landing page of all the issues that they have hired authors to contribute on. So you're definitely going to find essays on these topics. Once you click on one like animal rights, again, it's kind of this one-stop research shop, so you would never need to Google anything if this is what you were looking at. So when you land on the page, it's got a little neutral overview of the topic. Okay, that's not going to be a essay with a distinct point of view. So if you scroll down, I want you to see how the page is organized. We've got all these things are going to be on this page, from featured viewpoints to reference, which is books, magazines, and so forth. I want you to get to viewpoints, which you can click on there or go here. Now it only shows me 3, but just go ahead and click on view all 65 just so you can see how they are organized. So they try and do kind of a pro-con type setup. So the first one is going to say extreme animal rights activists are not terrorists, and then of course the next one would be extreme animal rights activists are terrorists, and these are viewpoint essays. So there would be a great example for what you need to look at. Now when you click on a title, it first gives you kind of the credentials of who's writing this, and then it also asks you to consider a few questions. It does this for pro and con. And then the actual essay starts after the consider you read question. So here's an essay written on this topic, and you can go through, and they're about, if I were to print this, it'd be about 2 pages long. And you can go through and see how these different essays written by activists and professionals in this that have a concern this topic have formatted their writing, and there's just pages and pages, but it'd be very good for you to see how these viewpoint essays are structured. If you don't find enough there, in the structured essays that are going to be in the viewpoints section, again it's always going to be under viewpoints is where you'll find those essays. You can also go into the magazine articles and look in there, and then of course the reference would be books written on the topic. So lots and lots of different places to look in opposing viewpoints database.